Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for another Chen style practice. This weekend is another Chen revision weekend over in Donegal, getting ready for our Master Chen Yin Jun, the son of Grandmaster Chen Xiaowang, who's coming over at the end of October for 4 days. So yes, I'm going for all four, touch wood, everything goes to plan. Some of my students, I think at least one of my students is planning to attend a lot of it as well. Maybe you could consider it too. Come over to sunny Donegal. But even if it rains, it's sunshine in the hole. It's very, very good to train with a master. So let's go into our four corners, please. Just do a little bit of warming, breathing into your body. And relax. Let the breath, the body, movement, and our awareness all move together. Good, let's change direction. I was delighted and quite humbled last night by one of my absolute beginners. She'd maybe done one class with me so far. And last night was the second, and she was saying how she had gone down to the beach and was standing in the water, and she was just doing what movements felt right. And she'd been doing a figure of eight in this, just moving with the water. And I was like, wow, so that's pushing hands basically when you work with another being, either a person or in this case the ocean. And she was doing the more advanced version of this move quite naturally, just because it felt like the right thing to do. I like that as Tai Chi. Nature is the first principle. She was moving quite literally with nature. So yeah, if you get the chance to go down to the beach, and if the water isn't too Baltic, if it's not too cold, you can have a go at that as well. Just getting into the water where it's safe, of course, and have a go at moving with the water. So let us now have a go at the figure of eight. The figure of eight is the same exercise, but instead of going to the four corners in turn, we're going to the big toe, we're going around to the little toe, and to the back heel edge, to the corner, and then across to the big toe, around to the little toe, to the back heel corner, and across. So we're doing the same four corners, but we're cutting through the middle to make a figure of eight. And this is a really nice one because just like the simpler version, we're feeling and connecting with our feet. So the center moves, but we're feeling for that connection. And that gives us the right size of movement. Try to keep those feet planted. Don't let them peel away. Always moving from here, from center. How does that feel? You have to focus, listen to your body. Now in Chen style, we use this movement rather a lot. So when we're traveling across in Tai Chi, it often has this untwisting quality, but you just focus on the traveling across and let the untwist happen. So we travel and turn, travel and turn. We see that again and again in silk railing, again and again in form. Very good. Now let's change direction. So now we're going to the back corner of the heel, round the blade of the foot to the little toes, feel to the big toes, and then go to the opposite corner heel, up the blade, little toes, big toes, corner, around the toes to the big toe, corner. See what we're doing? So we're doing this, back, around to the front, back, around to the front. I have to be careful not to exaggerate the movement to make it clearer because I don't want to do it wrong. It's subtle. So see if you can feel the connection with your feet. That's big enough. It's a small movement. Of course, if you take a deeper stance, a wider stance, it'll be a little bit bigger. Let's try that, shall we? We'll do a few more of these. So see if you can get the figure of 8 to flow. And if you like, you can use your hands to balance. You can imagine that you're there in the ocean, moving with the swirl and flow of the water. How perfect is that? Perfect. Lovely. Okay, so let's try it a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. Let's go wider. Let's sit the body back and down. Remember, we want to keep the body upright. And for the purposes of this, I want you to move the whole body and not just the belly, so to speak. So we're going to feed. Let's start with the first direction. We feed to the big toe, to the little toe, round to the outside edge of the heel, to the big toe, and round to the heel. So the turning is the same. It's the same size, but to travel across is bigger, is the space between the feet is bigger. So it is more clear, more distinct to the eye. Good. Travel and turn. Travel and turn. Now, once you've got the move, you can then imagine that your body is more of a ball than straight up and down. And think of the ball turning. It's not just the front of the ball that's turning, but also the back of the ball. It's one unit turning. So feel round into your back as you turn. Fill your back. Keep the small of your back nice and full. Don't let it scoop. Good. Very nice. Let's change direction. So we go from the heel to the toes, round to the big toe, across to the back of the heel, round the toes to the big toe. You probably find most people do find it's easier one way than the other. And that is Tai Chi in a nutshell, really, isn't it? It's yin and yang. One way is easier than the other, but it's good to practice both. Good. Good. Try and let it flow. Good. So you're getting a nice stretch and strengthen. And we're building that coordination. Lovely. Well done. Let's come back into center and let's walk the feet in. So that is your figure of 8. You'll see it again and again when we go into silk reeling. We're doing exactly that. Big toe, round the toes to the heel. Yeah, and so on. But it's good to practice on its own as a little exercise. Excellent. Let us now have a little look at standing practice. Now, excuse me 1 wee second. Get away. Yeah, I've got a fly sitting on my breakfast. That won't do. Excuse me. I'll just cover it up here. Okay, so we're going to have a little look at some standing practice. Now, one of my teachers, if you were to arrive to his class, he would go straight into standing. not necessarily doing any warm-up. And the funny thing is, believe it or not, standing practice also warms your body. It may not warm all the joints as systematically as doing lots of rotations for various parts. But if you stand for long enough and do it correctly, you're releasing and relaxing, and your body is having to rise to the challenge to bathe all the cells with energy as you stand. So it does actually warm the system. But we're not going to do a long stand. We're just going to give it a little bit of its due. If you're serious about Tai Chi and you really want to improve, standing is the only way really to get that bit deeper, that bit further. But we all fall off the wagon sometimes and go for short periods or even long periods where we're not doing regular stands. But every so often, dust yourself off, get up and try again. If we can build this habit, our health improves and our Tai Chi improves. So, feet together, please. We float up through the very top of the head. The chin slightly down and back. Take a moment to breathe and calm. Calming down through the body. Listening behind. Let's gently point the fingers down. And let's release belly, hips, and knees. Feeding your weight into your right foot, emptying your left foot, step open to your left. I'm not mirroring. Shift the weight into center, and now we can check. Now I can toe the line of the screen, but I'm actually going to look down and check that I'm getting a visual reassurance that everything is level. Remember, your feet are your foundation, so if they are off, even by a little bit, it's going to be much more difficult to create any kind of balance. So get the feet right, then return to your upright position. Feel the top of the head light. It's a gentle feeling of floating up. No forcing. From that top point, allow everything else to drape down in every direction. So we're releasing, and that creates traction, basically. Everything opens a little bit. Top of the head floating up, tailbone releasing down. Breathe into that. Now there are two areas that we want to give a little bit of attention here. One is the small of the back, and the other is the nape of the neck. So the two scooped bits of the spine. And here we just want a very gentle focus of filling. Think of those two scooped areas very gently filling back. So no pushing, no forcing. It's almost not a physical movement, but rather an intention of making them nice and full. So we have a floating up, a releasing down, and a gentle filling of the two scoops in the spine, the nape of the neck and the waist, small of the back. So in effect, we're creating a lengthened, straighter spine. And this is useful for us in this practice. It's not how I want you to try and walk around in normal life, but for standing practice, this gives everything plenty of space to function at its best. Now feel the 10 fingers gently lengthening down. And let's float them away from the body. Feel for the connection between the two hands. And very gently bring them up at least to belly height. You choose where you want to go today, where the energy feels you have the best connection. Now we're in our standing practice position. We want to check. If you have a reflection, or if you're joining me live, you may be able to see yourself on the screen. That works. You can check, is your head level? If not, adjust. You may well notice that when you adjust to what looks right, it may feel wrong. Trust what looks right, because we're creatures of habit, and if we have a habit, that will feel right. It may not be right. So keep using the reflection. Don't judge yourself, but trust it and adjust very gently, head straight. Next, check your shoulders. Are they level? If not, feel into them, breathe into them, gently guide them so that they're level. Ask yourself, is it that one side is hitched up or that the other side is squeezed down? If there is an imbalance, we correct it through relaxation. You're not lifting something to make it balance. You're releasing the contraction that is bringing the imbalance. For me, my right shoulder floats up, my right hip floats up, and my head goes off to my left. I'm still working on this, and I still need the reflection to help me measure it. But if I try pushing my shoulder down, it bounces up again. If I feel into my neck and release down the side and the back of the neck, the shoulder melts, the hip melts. So listen to your body for tension. Breathe into it. Let go into it. See if you can guide your system into balance, not by just moving bits around, but by releasing those muscles that are contracted. Releasing into the body so that it is draping down without tension. So we've looked at the shoulders. Allow the elbows to hang heavy. Allow the hands to float. We want the arms to float, not to be held. Let's feel into the hips. Check that the hips are level. A lot of what influences the hips is actually those large muscles round the back and within the pelvic cavity. So check that you are not clenching your buttocks. Check that you're not holding in your hips, but rather breathe and let the body hang down the center line. Allow the pelvis to release and to float. Feel your way down through your legs. Again, checking for tension. Let it go as you find it. Breathing, releasing down. Feel all the way down into your feet. Feel the weight equally distributed across the feet. Now, actually, we want the body to be a little bit back from the heels. And I know that sounds a bit off balance, but we don't want to be too far forwards. We actually want the knees to be in line with the center of the foot. So if we were to look down, we want to be able to see the feet. If we look down and we see only knees, the knees are too far forwards. But actually, when we sit the whole body back, we still want it to be vertical, so the whole body slides back a little bit. You'll feel the weight wants to go more on the heels. That's natural. And you might think, well, now I'm holding tension in the ankles, or, I'm on my heels now. Yes, but then we want to keep relaxing, let go, allow the weight to spread out into the feet. So we want the body to be a little bit back, still vertical, but set back a little bit. And this way, the knees aren't taking a great deal of strain, and we are expressing what we always express in Tai Chi, the yin yang. So the front is empty, the back is full. Breathe and let go. So see if it feels right, see if you feel you've got it. And now, just as a little exercise, have a little look down and see, can you see your feet? Or are the knees in the way? Wow, I'm happy I can see my feet. Yay! Okay, so we bring the head back up again. One more check. We'll do a few moments in silence to listen, breathe, and let go through the body. Well done. Let's very gently lower the arms down. At this stage, we could cover center, take 9 breaths into center, then do our Dan-Dian rotations in each direction, excuse me, and cover center again. But we're not going to do that. Today, we're going to go straight into form. So let's fill our right foot, empty the left foot, peel the foot away, and close. Excellent, and recover. Good. So if you're doing standing practice alone without form, then I would like you to do all that. Cover center, breathe into center for 9 breaths, and then do your rotations up the right, across and down to the left, and the other way, and cover center again. However, we use standing in class as deep preparation for form. So if you're going to do the form then circulates your chi around your body instead of just rubbing your belly. Of course, you can do both, but we don't have a long time in a 1-hour class. So we're going to go straight into our form now. And let's see if we can, I keep trying to do 2 times through the form in 1 hour, but I don't think we're going to manage it. Let's try once through the form, and then we will pick a section or a couple of sections of your choice. So let's go to the side and let's see if we can get through the form cleanly. Remember the corrections that we mentioned the other day. Jinggang exits the temple. We circle down and back, and as we make our little bar across, we're extending the back arm. We're not just leaving it sitting, but as we expand forwards, we expand on that line, remember? And I feel if I keep my shoulder focused on being down, that gets me the nice bar across rather than expanding too much as I come forwards. And instead of relaxing to center, we just go straight into the turn. We come through center and poke. Yeah. Oh my, just seen a massive spider. How spiders are getting big, aren't they? Have you noticed that? They seem to just get bigger. Anyway, welcome spider. Right, let's have a go through the form. As I say, just a reminder, the step back repulse, step back twist upper arm. We're going to extend the front arm as we come in with the back arm. There's yin and yang, and only as we step does the front arm release. Before I was drawing it in too soon, and apparently this is a very common thing. So we want to express yin and yang. Extend that arm until you actually step the foot. So there's a couple of wee things to bear in mind. Let's jump into the form. Okay. Floating up. Calming down. Ready, start. Turning to the back for high pat on horse. Good. So we're going to gather, circle down to the left, step across left, prepare, sink down, hands up, thumbs out of the way, kick, step and turn, kick, arms up, step behind, turn to the back. Gathering up in fists, lift left, turn, kick left. 3 steps. For planting flowers. Feeding the weight back, turn to the back, untwist, weight left, quarter turn, arms up and over. Now this could be a jump kick, but for now we'll do the steps. Release, false kick, real kick, and left palm facing up. For protect the heart punch. So we wrap and fist under elbow. Good, release. Left palm facing in, circle kick, cross hands, little bounce. Turn, face the back. Stepping to the left, gather. Right hand and right foot comes up, turn palms, pull back toes, kick right. Make a toy soldier position, quarter turn and 3-way punch. Keep going to the end of part 2. Part 3. Make adjustments for your space as necessary. Can't be helped if we're going in sitting rooms. Do that again, ready, and up, down. Jade Maiden, bud up, turn. Bonsai. Should be to the side. I'm going back a little bit. Step back. Good. So your second high pat on horse. This is the end of the form now as we circle and gather, turn. This is your diagonal punch down. Uppercut. Well, I know I'm miles away, so okay. Wrapping fists. You could get your tail to the floor if you can there. Turning to the back and kick, and we'll bring it round to the front just for the purposes of screen class. Feed it into the left. Kick. Gather. Throw it out. sealing in your good energy. Point to the floor, float up. Feed right, close left. Recover. And a heel tap. Good. Now, hopefully, as you go through the form, you'll have this little kind of nudge from your memory going, oh yes, there was a correction here, and this is what it was. But actually, I find as I do the form, even though I'm getting those nudges, I don't always manage to apply those corrections each time. But it's a great start if you're getting those nudges. You're going, oh yeah, we talked about, making the bar not expanding too far and then not returning to center, just turning and coming through center. If you can get these thoughts that, oh, there's a correction here, and this is what the correction is, even if you don't manage to correct it each time, you will actually find you'll be that little bit closer to applying the correction. This is why multiple repetitions is so important, because it's like almost the first time through is just to get your brain in gear, just to get, okay, there's the familiar stuff that we're doing, but okay, this is what I want to work on. And then the next time you can try and apply it, and so on and so on. But it's much easier and kinder, perhaps, for your system to take little sections and just repeat a section and see if you can apply the correction within that section. You can kind of polish it up a bit and then plow it back into the form as a whole. Because if you're doing 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of a form, and there's this few seconds that you want to polish, if you do what I just did, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a correction here, whoops, I missed it. It can be very disheartening. And there's an awful lot of whoops, I missed it in Tai Chi, because we're aiming for perfection. That's not going to happen, but we can chip away, chip away. So the first aspect of chipping away is to get it in your mind as you get to these place marks in the form. This is the bit that I have to do whatever it is you need to do. And if you've got that, you've planted the seed to help you fix it. It may take 20 repetitions, it may take 30 repetitions, it may take 100 repetitions, but if your awareness is clear each time, right, this is that part that I need to do something, then you're going to have a chance of fixing it. But all too often, if we're given a correction, it's just overwhelming. There's just so much going on that it goes in one ear and out the other. And that's the nature of Tai Chi, unfortunately. As Jill says, as my teacher says, every time you go to class, if you're lucky, you're given a bag of sweets. You're given all this information, and it's too much. It would give you indigestion if you tried to process it all at once. So take one sweet. If you can take 10% from any corrections at any one time and apply them, you're going to make progress. And then the other ones will be more familiar. It's like that box of chocolates, you might not try all of them all at the same time. But if you take one and savor it and you're exposed to the others, then next time you're told, yes, but now try to do this. You may be given the same correction 100 times and one day the penny will drop. But don't worry if it doesn't drop straight away. As long as you're practicing mindfully, as long as you have an idea what you're working towards, you stand the chance of making really good progress. Okay, so the question now is there any part in particular that you would like to polish? Any section, any movement? Now's your chance. If you don't say anything, then I'll pick one. I have one in mind. Yes, Eric. Oh, hold on, it's still muted. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, coming off mute is hard. There, yeah.
Yeah, the one I particularly, haven't got it in my head completely yet, is from the punch down to the
The uppercut. Yeah, so that's the last section of the form.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's have a look at that. That's nice. So, yeah, the punch diagonally down. It's interesting, isn't it? Because throughout the form, we're punching pretty much the same, and then all of a sudden we're taking the punch and just sending it on the diagonal line. So this is at the end, section 4. We've just done our turn with we've done, let me see, we've done our spitting out, turning, and flicking. And this time we stamp, we step to the diagonal, and we prepare facing the back corner. The preparation is the same, and in fact the punch is the same. The only difference is that we're directing it on the diagonal. So we relax to center, and as we turn the waist, the punch goes diagonally down, and the elbow, on the other hand, goes diagonally up. From there, we relax to center, as we always do after a punch. Anytime after fudge in, we release back into center, and then we're doing our little wind up. So this is rather like your silk reeling 2, the small spiral. We're going to gather and wrap around, lifting the left toe, and as the arm comes underneath, we feed the weight forwards, planting your left foot, and rise up for the uppercut. So then release, relax down, and step, grabbing the head and feeding it through. And this time we bring the foot straight into apparent close up before single whip. Good. Now, I'm guessing that the bit that's stymieing you is directly after the punch to get you into this. So the thing to practice to get the essence of the movement is your small spiral silk reeling 2 practice. So I lovingly call this the funky chicken. So the idea is that you're rolling the ball in direction 2. This is direction 1, going left and right. Direction 2 is forwards and back. So we're thinking of this ball in the center doing this. Good. Now the silk reeling, you're kind of inchworming. You're allowing your spine to relax and ripple and letting the hands circle round. Remember that one?
Mm.
Yeah. And you can practice going the other way, up and back. Good, just for good measure. So we want to keep returning the hands flat to the belly, and the movement of center sends the ripple up the back, which in turn, if you loosen up and relax, it moves the arms in this funny way. If we kind of intentionally keep the palms stuck to the body and just let them flow around in a circle, this is the upshot of rolling the belly. You get this rotation of arms. Good. Now, the more the merrier you do of this. This is really good preparation for the movement in the form, and relax. So all movement in Tai Chi can refer back to Chan Gong, can refer back to the silk reeling. So this is the small spiral. So if I do it facing you rather than facing the diagonal, so that you can see what's going on, and bear in mind, I am also a student of Tai Chi. I'm not a master. Masters spend their lives doing nothing but Tai Chi. I'm doing it most days, but I'm not as prolific. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm going to do my best for now. So I've punched. Okay, so we're going to that's the movement. So do you see it? It's directly taken from the silk reeling 2, the Chan Gong small spiral. So both arms are mirroring each other, and we're rotating the energy up and back. So up, back. So both are coming underneath and up. And so if I come closer, you won't see my body, but you'll maybe see my hands a little bit clearer. As I say, I'm not doing this perfectly. You know, each and every move of the form you'd need to do 10,000 times before you could go anywhere near saying, okay, yes, now you've really got it. And I don't practice that much. So, okay, so we're here. We've done our diagonal punch down. Yeah, you see what I mean? So it is mirror symmetry almost. I mean, one arm is out, is yang, one arm is in, it's yin, but they are doing this same gathering. They're turning at the same time, they're coming underneath at the same time, and then one is rising. So again, from your diagonal punch down, we gather. And up. This brings the leg. So do you see what I mean? It's like a bigger version and a smaller version. Here in Belfast, we have a large sculptural thing on one of our motorways called the West Link. And it's been lovingly called the Balls on the Falls because it's on the Falls Road. And also it's been referred to as the Big Ball and the Wee Big Ball because it's literally a sort of wire mesh of a small ball suspended in wire surrounded by a bigger ball suspended in wire, and the two are kind of interlinked. And I love that sculpture. I love it because to me it epitomizes Tai Chi. You've got the little ball and you've got the bigger ball. So the little ball is your Dan Dian, it's doing its thing, and the bigger ball is our physical expression on the outside, or external expression. So that if you see it again from here, we're gathering, and we've got the little ball and the big ball, but they're both doing the same thing, underneath and up. You see what I mean? So they're not both out, they're not both in, but they're doing the same thing. You're rotating in your center. It's subtle. It gets very subtle when it gets this small, but it's still coming from center. So from here we gather. The left hand that was against your body starts to form a fist. We go back in the weight and you get this, both arms going together. We're scooping under, which is turning the palms. So you're sort of halfway there, like you're driving a steering wheel, but we keep coming under. Now both palms are facing up, and we finish screwing into the full rotation as we then drive upwards into the uppercut. So the uppercut has to be fully underneath and up. You don't want to try to uppercut while your elbow's still sticking out. There's no power in that. So both hands are in and under and up. Okay, so one more time. From your diagonal. I'm just trying to make it clear. It should be over there, but you're here, and you gather up and under and up. Good. Okay, I'm going to have to cut it short here, folks, because I have a phone call. I can hear there's something waiting for me, but you did really good work today. I'm going to salute. Thank you very much. I'm going to trust you to do your own wee warm down. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hope that was useful. Thanks.